Some stories start at the beginning. Ours begins here. What the?
Hi, how are you guys?
Hi, muy bien, ¿cómo estás?
Nice to meet you, sir.
You too, thank you.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi. How you doing? Hello, Andres.
Very good, very good.
Great.
Nice
I got-
background.
Thank you. I'm a comic book fan. And also, I love the series. It's a really great series. Thank you for creating it. And actually, I'm a great fan of Jeff because I love every comic he makes.
Oh,
I
thanks,
really
man.
do.
Cool, awesome. Thank you.
Every book, every drawing, every script is like a son for a creator. And I think actually your son is named as the main character in the series, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was developing the show when my wife was pregnant with our child, and so we'd already chosen his name. We knew he was going to be a boy, and we had picked Gus. So when I was writing the comic, I named the character after him. Yeah.
So in that regard, what does Sweeth Tooth means to you personally?
Boy, it means a lot. I mean, I wrote and drew the whole thing while I became a parent, and while my son was in his first 2 or 3 years of life, so I think that was all baked into what the book was about, just sort of seeing the world through the eyes of a total innocent and through the eyes of a child, and me kind of wishing I could be a Jeopard-like protector sometimes, and sometimes failing and being more like father, and yeah, so I mean, it's all in there, just kind of the fear of your child going out into a world that can be kind of scary and when they're not ready for it, and so all that stuff's definitely in there. And then it also just came from me loving post-apocalyptic fiction and dystopian fiction and really wanting to do my version of one of those stories, and kind of having fun with the adventure and the pulp of it, and all that stuff just kind of gets baked together each day when you're working on it.
Somebody told me you prepared for this role practicing parkour. Did you get the chance to actually use it in the series?
I did, in fact, get the chance to use parkour in the series. In fact, I used it all throughout episode 1 and a couple for the rest of the season. But I love getting to the parkour training because now I'll just do that randomly during the day. Like, I'll just climb up a wall or I'll just, do a jump. So it's really fun. I really like learning that new skill.
The character Bear starts viewing Gus as a kind of magical being. But when she finds he's an experiment, how do you think that changes her perspective about life and about Gus?
I think when Bear finds that out, it's quite a shock to her because it shatters her beliefs about what hybrids are, what the world is, where we're going, because Bear built an army believing that hybrids are the way to healing rather than the cause. So it sort of, flips her whole view, and she starts to question everything and question herself. And this guilt and this uncertainty is quite scary for her. And so she's figuring out what that really means. And she's not sure because, she's still she has this relationship with Gus that doesn't change. She sees this light and they connect as soon as they meet. So I think because there's that love and that friendship, it's also not as simple as just being like, okay, well, no, hybrids are just, the cause, so they're bad. It's so much more complex because, this relationship is really deep between them. And also, she has a sister who's a hybrid too. So it's a confusing one for her.
I gotta say, you got a particular voice. I don't know how to say a deep voice, perfect for this series. And I have some questions for you. The first of all is, how did you get involved with this project? Did Robert Downey Jr. talk to you about this series?
He never talked to me about it. I got a call that he demanded that I do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I never got a job quite that way, So they were just, what they did when they did that was turn me over to Warner Brothers, with my agents and all of that. And they said, okay, you handle all the other stuff. All we know is we want him only. Don't look anywhere else. So there I was, and this is after never having done any vocal work and not having, being a shut-in for 15 months now, right? We're all hiding from
Yeah.
COVID,
Your character at the end of the series goes to a dark path. He's going to experiment with children. So do you think there's a redeeming path for your character after that?
I don't know. I mean, it's the nature of these sort of series that they sort of end on I've played a couple of characters where it's kind of ended on a really kind of negative, somber note. And it's really was like a deal to try and like give sort of succinct answers to it. But I suppose the possibility of redemption in anyone, and I suppose that's a sliding scale. I mean, I hope you would hope so. But then, to play devil's advocate, you just see him, hit a drill and he walks off camera. So, maybe there's the potential of him not doing anything, maybe not drilling anything. But yeah, it's an interesting question, and one we'll both find out about when we get to the second series.
You two have a lot of scenes together. So when you were waiting to film the next scene, how did you spend those moments together? Did you play any video games or any board game?
Yeah, I think, Christian tried to teach me how to complete a Rubik's Cube, because he's really, really good at Rubik's Cubes. Clash of Clans is my chosen game on my phone in between setups, and we would talk a lot as well. And Christian has got some very interesting jokes that he tells on set as well.
Why'd the policeman go to the baseball game?
Why?
Because he heard someone stole second base.
Well,
so silly.
Al inicio de la serie tú eres una psicóloga que vive la vida como en automático, y pues la serie, al igual que nuestra vida real, entra a una pandemia. ¿Qué crees o cómo crees que esto se traslada a nuestro día a día, la manera en que tu personaje evoluciona encontrando un propósito?
Yo creo que lo más importante en el medio de la pandemia en la que estamos es, y la pandemia como pasa en el show, si podemos verlo como un nuevo inicio. Y yo creo que eso es lo que hace que mi personaje pase por la evolución en la que pasa, que después de esta pandemia, después de que este apocalipsis que pasa en el mundo, ella tiene la oportunidad de empezar de nuevo. Y para ella, el propósito de verdad lo encuentra cuando conoce esta bebé, mitad puerco, mitad humana, y yo creo que ahí es que ella de veras empieza a ver su propósito. Y yo como madre tengo gemelos que tienen 7 años. Para mí fue muy importante este mensaje de creer en sí mismo y proteger esta tierra donde estamos ahora para crear un mundo mejor, un mundo más bueno para nuestros hijos. Y pues si podemos nosotros como humanos también ver esta pandemia que está pasando ahora y buscar la forma de que nos una antes de que nos divida, es la manera que quiero como que la gente puedan ver su existencia.
How did you felt with the changes in this series? Does it make you look at the comic book in a different way?
I don't think it changes my view of the comic. I'm very proud of the comic, and I love what it is. But I also love the show, and I think these two things can exist together. I said earlier that I love that, the comic, some of the darker aspects, like the horror kind of aspects, are kind of in the foreground of the comic, and the heart and the hopefulness is kind of sneaks up on you in the background, and the show kind of inverts that, where the storybook elements and the heart are right up front, and then the horror and the darkness is still there, but it kind of creeps up on you. And so I think they're kind of great complements to one another, and really kind of an interesting conversation that fans can have between the two things. But in the end, they still have kind of the same heart, and they're really telling the same story, just in a slightly different sort of skew, which is cool.
What do you think makes Sweeth Tooth different to any other series?
Well, I think hats off to. I don't like formulaic, when you can see it, all of those things, right? However, I think they've done a splendid job. The powers that be, Netflix, Warner Brothers, the creators of I've been thinking about it. No it appeals to each and every demographic, as far as I can tell. Old, young, subcultures, gender, ethnicity, it's, you name it, nobody feels alienated by it. And I wonder what that is, and perhaps that is the innocence of childhood and looking at the world as a place filled with wonder. Yeah, that's my little 2 cents.
I want to ask, I think both of you have a good chemistry in the series, and I want to ask Nonso first. After finishing filming the first season, how would you describe Christian as an actor?
I think, you know, even though Christian is a child actor, I think he's a very intelligent young man. He has a good head on his shoulders. He's got a great mother that supports him and makes sure that he's got lots of activities to do offset. He keeps that great work-life balance. And you know, I think the fact that I actually missed Christian, and I've been, you know, missed Christian since we finished filming is testament to how great an actor he is.
And I want to ask now, Christian, how would you describe Nonso as an actor?
I would describe Nonso as an actor. He's a very good actor. He's talented and he's experienced, and I learned lots of things that I can incorporate into my performances now. And even offset, we're always hanging out, like he was saying, and you know, we always talk, and I really think that helps us while acting too, because we have that bond. Describing Nonso as an actor, he's professional, he's great at acting, and he's talented and experienced.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much, guys. I hope there's a second season coming, because I can't wait to find out what happens to your characters. Yeah, well, thank you very much, guys. Very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, guys. See you. Very nice to meet you. Thank you.
Nice to
Good.
meet you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You too. Have a good day. Thanks, Andres.
Thank you.
Meet you.